Hi everyone, my name is Remy,
And my name is Tristan.
and you're listening to the Weekly Outdoors. Welcome everyone. This is the 8th episode of the first series of the Weekly Outdoors.
Yep.
And you're listening to Tristan and Remy in the studio.
Which is great, by the way. So, and it's not hot here, so yes.
It's nice and cool in here.
Oh, love it.
So Tristan,
Yeah.
good to have you back. How has your week been?
Pooh. It's been awesome.
Really?
Yeah, it has been a pretty awesome week. I went on a vacation.
Yeah, you
Le
told
vacation?
us. Yeah.
Just 1 week, so
With the lady.
with the lady and the dog. But yeah, that was. I want to go back. I want to live there. I want to buy a house and just live there forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a week, and we had a Well, I think it's not a really bungalow. It's
It's a fake bungalow.
Yeah, it's a
Just the front.
It's
Just
a
the front. We
bungalow.
open the door and it's nothing.
It's a bungalow. No, I don't think it's really a bungalow because it when you're inside and you're walking, it feels like a chalet, but it wasn't.
Okay.
It was really luxurious with the television and the big sofa and luxury bedroom, good kitchen, but it was in the middle of nothing, which was awesome. We had a big field in front of the home, and it was 1 minute walk, and then we just stepped into the forest, and it was just heaps and heaps of nothing, no people,
Just nature all around.
But the most bizarre thing is you can see a lot of wild animals there, like wild boars, deers, foxes. But we saw 3 kangaroos.
What? Yeah. What? Okay.
We were just like, I was just like, honey, yes, are those kangaroos? She said, no, those are big bunnies. Those are really big bunnies standing on the
Really
back
big
legs.
bunnies.
Oh my god, those are kangaroo. It's not like the real biggest. It's more like the wallaby kangaroos.
Yeah.
But it seemed there was a person who had a home there, and in his backyard, he had 3 wallabies walking around.
Right.
Of all pets you can have, it's like, nah, cows, sheep, everybody got those. I'm taking wallabies.
Yeah. I realize this. I have seen one as well on a farm. Someone keeping them in the front yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a thing, apparently. I don't know.
It is. It's a really...
Please send us an email if you have a kangaroo in your front
If
yard.
that's your thing, please do tell us, because we are really curious about why.
Amazing.
Yeah, but the most awesome part is my lady is not really a nature lover.
Okay.
Say that. She loves nature, but she hates the bugs.
Right. Yeah. So like half.
Yeah, so you can imagine during a warm day walking in the forest, there's a lot of bugs in there. Seriously, she created, just by doing it, her own dance. She was just like flapping her arms and moving her head because of all the bugs around her. And I was just walking like, yeah, there are bugs here, so I don't care. They're probably here. But we did, the funny thing was, my dog, it's a little dog. It's not a really big, awesome wolf thing. I know he turned into a hunting dog. That was pretty.
What?
Yeah, that was. There was a tree, and you could see that it was marked by, I think tusks from wild boars or something.
Okay.
And you could see that there were animals around that tree that damaged the tree. You could see the damage, and he picked up a scent, and he was just going completely mad.
He was searching for it.
Yeah, he was keeping.
Okay.
He was just his nose on the ground and just keep on searching for the scent. And I was just like, "What the?
What are you gonna do?"
Since when are you a hunting dog?" And we did see a wild boar in the distance, and he was just going completely off. Like, I want to get it, and
That's
fortunately,
dangerous.
yeah, I grabbed the dog. And I was like, "No, we're not going to do that." And he was like, "But I want to hunt it. I want to grab it." I'm like, "That boar is 3 times the size you are. You're probably going to die.
10 times as heavy,
Yeah,
at least.
so yeah, that's not going to work. But
Yeah.
it's the environment where when you stay there, it's not even the forest that you have, but just all the small villages around it. I mean, we even went to Arnhem.
Yep.
And even Arnhem is like so relaxed. The people there, they don't hurry. It's well, my girlfriend, she is really in like, come on, people, pace, do it.
Yeah.
You went to a supermarket there, and it was just like,
Everybody, take it
no,
easy.
bleep.
Yeah.
no, bleep. And you were just like,
I can't imagine how a robbery would go in
Yeah.
Arnhem. Like Hey, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, just gotta. Yeah, no, hold on. I'll wait my turn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, sure. This is a robbery.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want some coffee with it? No, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Thank you. I'll
Take a
just.
seat. I'll be right with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, here's your money. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
You want a bag? You have to pay 10
Yeah,
cents.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. I'm
I
sorry,
have to do
sir.
this. Yeah.
So,
Just for the
yeah,
environment.
but
Yeah.
no, that was, and they had a lot of hobby shops, so you can do the painting and the knitting,
and
yeah, all that kind of
all
stuff. So
creative stuff.
the lady was like, oh my god, I gotta buy stuff.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of bookstores, and that's when I go. Bookstores and record stores were there. I mean,
Uh-huh.
seriously, where can you find record stores in shopping centers?
Not much.
No,
Not much.
and
No.
they had like 3.
Oh,
With-
wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. With the CDs and vinyl and everything they were selling there, and it's a big store. So
In Arnhem, you said.
yeah,
I've probably been there.
and it was like I was like, oh my
One of
god,
them. Yeah.
I died and went to heaven. It's I can buy music here again. It's awesome. And
Do you have a record player?
yeah,
Okay, so yeah, that's handy.
yeah. So I was
Otherwise,
just,
you're just buying sheets
yeah,
like placemats.
yeah. No. I loved it. And there was in the city of Arnhem there was a street artist festival
Oh, really?
with the come what's it called again?
It's chalk.
The chalk.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, the chalk on the street.
Mm-hmm.
And that was
Mind blowing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, the artist made 2 footprints and it's like, stand over here if you want to make an
Oh, yeah.
even made the Instagram symbol. So I was like, okay, cool.
Okay, nice.
And when you're standing there, it's like you can see the depth or the 3D coming out and you're just like, seriously? Just with chalk on the floor, you can make this kind of stuff? So,
Yeah, how they can see the way to draw
Yeah.
this on the street to make it
yeah. So,
so
yeah, that's...
visual. Yeah.
And I mean, even, seriously, people, if you've never been there, just go. I mean, even if you're driving into it with your car, we had to drive through the city center and then like the first right,
Mhm.
and that was just a farmer road.
Okay.
And you just go on a road that's big enough for one car. So if someone comes towards you, you have to go. So the most of the time to the right as far as you can go, and he goes as far to the right as he can go, so you can pass each other.
Uh-huh.
But then you enter the forest, and it was just like I was just like driving through the scenes of Lord of the Rings. I was just like, I want to stop here. I want to just stay here forever
It
and
looks
ever.
so beautiful.
Yeah, so that was a pretty awesome experience.
Very cool.
But
But hold on.
yeah.
Before you went on your vacation, you
Mhm.
told us that you are going to set your girl up to do 3 things
Mhm.
she's never done before,
Mhm.
and I didn't want you to spoil it.
Mhm.
What were those 3 things?
Well, the 3 things were first I wanted to do start a little bit slow and go horseback riding.
Ah, nice. But she never done horseback riding.
No, she never did. But there was a little element I did not thought about. You cannot go horseback riding through the forest without ever riding a horse. You cannot go in there and be like, "Hey, I want a horse."
No. It's like renting a bicycle or a motorbike. They
Yeah.
want you to be able to ride a
I
motorbike.
didn't know that. I thought they had like instructors going with me. So they was like, "Yeah, we can do the
Oh,
instructor."
okay.
I was like, "Okay, cool. Let's do that." Yeah, that's like 200 euros
Yeah, you have to
per
pay
person.
for the dude. Yeah.
I was like, "What? That's
But are you able to ride a horse?
no."
So you were both going to be just sitting on a horse and like, hey, let the horse do
Yeah, I
this.
might have made a slightly miscalculation in my plan. So I'm sorry for that one.
Okay, so we end up with 2
Yeah,
activities.
2 activities. And the 2 activities we are going to do, we are going to do the indoor skydiving.
Ah.
It's going to start this week because it's getting pretty hot in the Netherlands.
Mhm.
So we was like, what can we do that's cooling and refreshing? It was like, seriously, come on, a big turbine full of wind. How cool can that be? That's
really cool.
Yeah, so we're going to do that one. And
Nice.
we either going to do, we are going to do archering.
Right?
Because she never done it and she really wants to do it. It's
Okay.
like she's one of those how do you say it?
I know.
Her
What are you looking for?
honey, sorry if I'm telling this and don't want to embarrass you, but this is pretty awesome to hear. She is her biggest thing she wants to do, and imagination thingy is riding a horse while shooting a bow and arrow.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, she's like an elf in her mind. She wants to do that stuff. So
But
that's
you can't do any of them
nope.
yet.
And I don't think it's safe to do both of them at the same time.
Well, yeah, it's possible. But I know that friends of mine have done this
Mhm.
as a course.
Mhm.
But you have to be able to ride horse and shoot bow just
Yeah.
at least for a little bit before you try the combination. Especially with the trained horses, the horse knows what he's doing, but
Yeah.
if you don't know what you're doing,
That's the problem.
it's gonna get wrong.
Mhm.
So yeah, well, it is possible. We have to
Yeah.
get into some training.
Yeah, so we're gonna start with with archering and just do that for a while. Let it get used to shooting a bow and arrow and doing that kind of stuff, and then probably the combination. Then start horseback riding, and then putting them together.
Yep.
That's the thing I'm working on, and I want to do some. Yeah, she doesn't have a driver's license, so I was just like, what can we do with that? So we're just gonna go kart racing.
Okay.
Go kart racing. So that's yeah, those are the adrenaline things I know she hasn't done before and makes her heart pound faster. So I'm just like,
We'll be able to do this.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, the indoor skydive is amazing. I've done this.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like I told last time about the bungee jumping.
mm-hmm.
It's such an strange feeling. And in this case, it's not like a real skydive. I haven't done a
Yeah.
real skydive yet, but you're not really falling, but the wind is gushing
Yeah,
past you. So yeah, it is different.
it is.
But the sense is different as well, because when you're falling, the gravity feels different than when you're hanging still.
Yeah.
Because the gravity is still. But again, it's really amazing, and I'm curious to know what your experience will be with this. We'll talk about it from both sides when you have done this.
Yeah, I know. So, but
it's cool.
how has your week been? Because you did awesome historical event.
Yeah, I've had an amazing week.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because after the training for the outside theater, all the shows went well.
Good.
No big injuries, so I'm happy with that result. And the other event was the historical event.
Yeah, how
I
was
went
that?
to for 2 days. It was amazing.
You went to do the prehistoric.
Yeah.
So like the caveman
Just
experience.
beyond the caveman, because in the Netherlands we reenact the Netherlands, the Dutch prehistory in the Stone Age period,
Okay.
and we didn't have caves here, so
No.
the people didn't live in caves
No.
because there were no caves. The people that lived in the Netherlands during that time, it's like 7,000 years ago, around 4,000 or 5,000 years before Christ.
Okay.
That's what we reenact, that type of period, which all the materials and the tools and the knowledge they had, for as far as we know, because it's difficult, because there's nothing written about
No.
it from that time. It's only what's written and told about
Yeah.
later. So it's a difficult time to reenact. But then again, we played that period of time, and it was a big event in Doorn. It was like there were over 2,000 reenactors, all with tents and from all different periods.
How many reenactors?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was
2,000?
it was a very big yard. It was. I had the whole story, but it's a very long story. But it's someone who got a political stay in the Netherlands at that time, years ago, and he got this big house with land and the fence and the yard, and he built a big gate and everything. So it's an amazing structure, and it's a beautiful piece of land.
Yeah.
And they used this together with all the organizations to do this event. And we were the oldest time period, of course, because no one reenacts that old normally.
No.
And we were sitting at the entrance, just by the entrance. So all the visitors that came in these 2 days
Yeah, they saw you
came
the first.
by us
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah,
it's
because
also
they
the
had,
exit.
yeah.
Which was amazing, because we had so many people we can talk to, and we can tell our story and explain. And of course, we wear fur, like, it's real fur we are wearing, because we are reenacting this. And the military people from World War I and World War II, I mean, these were not nice periods, but still the reenactment trying to use the materials from that age. And that's what we are trying to explain to the people who are offended by the fur.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of people will be like, "Oh, that's fur."
Yeah, is that
blah,
real?
blah, blah.
And yeah, of course it's real, because it's a natural product.
Yeah.
But I had one talk. It was very strange, because I do like to explain people why we do this. And the friend of mine who brought me there also does this in school. So she explains and educates children about the the life before,
Yeah.
how people lived back then, and how you can take your lessons from that. And they lived in balance with nature because they were, depending on nature. If nature was out of balance, they would die because
Yeah.
they were part of nature. So they were very, civil with killing that few animals. And it's a nice story to tell to the people. But there was the one boy, and he said, "Oh, but that's so sad that you killed." And they use kill a lot instead of just we hunt for it and use everything from the animals. We used to use everything from the animals. I don't hunt. But the guy, the little boy was saying, it was so sad that you have to kill animals. But I was like, do you eat meat? Yes. I said, okay, but we have to slaughter animals for you to get your meat. Yeah, but that's not sad. I like the meat. So I was like, okay, this kid needs education because milk doesn't come from a packet and meat doesn't come from a store. It's
sad that you kill an animal for its skin. It isn't sad if you kill an animal to eat it. Okay.
Yeah. So it's sad if I do it, but not if he does it.
Yeah.
Or if it has been done for him.
Yeah.
So there was a strange opinion there.
You need some education.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah.
I'm with him on this one. So nope.
Yeah. I mean, I like eating meat myself, but I won't mind to slaughter my own meat, but then I will eat less meat because it's a lot of work. It's not just killing an animal.
No,
that's one thing, but then the whole process, it's a lot of work, and then you would appreciate your meat a lot more.
Yeah, it isn't like you go into the field and be like, "Hello, cow, I'm just gonna cut a piece of you to have my steak."
Yeah, no. It's a lot of work, and right now I had this talk with a few people that are visiting, and really understand the current situation our world is in. That although the people back then lived in harmony with nature,
yeah, they did.
There's no way to go back to that balance.
No,
without stopping everything.
We're depending. We are depending more and more on the meat product and.
But the whole community thing, the whole everything is stuck to each other.
Yeah,
there's no way to just go back to a simple life without having the complicated life.
One of the podcasts we talked about the stage fighting.
Yep.
But you also do it, I think, with those historical events that you demonstrate how, let's say, the gladiator fights are going or Roman fighting.
Not in my not with my projects because I do the stage fighting.
Yeah.
And back in the Roman days, they didn't do stage fighting; they did real fighting.
True.
But I am going to attend at the historic festival in Zoetermeer. I'm going to do presentations of stage fighting, but then in the meaning of stage fighting.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of people in the group that do sword fighting and all kinds of stuff from the historical aspect.
Yeah.
And I don't fight historically correct because that's not interesting enough for every audience and not practical for every show. So, last production was a musical, and there's no way to have them fight historically correct and have a good show. So they have to fight as far as they can go within safe boundaries and have a little bit of show. So stage fighting is a very different approach.
Yeah, well, the funny, the safe part, how, with these historical events, I mean, it is coming as close as to the real thing that we know of. But how do you keep it regarding also to weaponry and everything you're making? How do you keep the safety on it? Because there are normal people there, and I think the balance of like, oh, there's a big shiny dagger or a sword. As a kid, I want to play with it. But and also with the stage fighting, I mean, me as a person, if I'm I am an actor, so I can relate stuff. But the moment that you're fighting as a stage fighter and you get slapped in the face hard, what is the safety that you can put on yourself? Like, okay, I'm not gonna go mental and punch this guy's lights out. I know this is stage fighting. I know this isn't real. So how do you keep the safety in it?
It's a combination. I have two rules. One is safety, so it has to be safe. And when training, when setting up stunts, when rehearsing stunts, when training for weaponry, number one is always safety.
Yeah.
So whenever anything is not safe, we don't do it.
No.
Simple. And if someone thinks it's not safe, they will say it and will stop at that point. When someone doesn't feel safe, we'll stop at that point. Because if someone doesn't feel safe, they will not be acting out in a normal way. So they can do strange things because they're getting scared and they will hurt themselves or someone else. So everything has to be safe. That's just rule number one.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that we are not able to do things that are not safe, but we'll have to do a different approach to make it safe or to go within a safe sense. You know, if someone wants to take a risk, that's fine. I mean, that's the whole thing. A bungee jumper does take risks, but he knows the risks. You know, it can go different than planned, and we have the same with stage fighting. So number one is always safety, and number two is then the show aspect. So it has to look good for the audience, and that's what I said. It doesn't have to be historically correct. It just has to look good. So don't fight small, don't fight fast, because you know, in a tournament, in a sword fighting tournament, you'll fight fast because you don't want your opponent to see what you are doing, what your second strike will be, or what your defense and your deflect will be. You want to be fast. You want to be as fast as possible so they cannot respond to this. But for an audience, that's not the fight you want to see in a show. In a show, it's just like in the movies, but then, you know, it's live, so you can't have camera posts, you can't have sound effects, you cannot have anything like what you can do in a movie. You have to do everything live, and you have audience all around at most of the events. So the approach there for show element is completely different.
So it's more like a choreograph. It's with the dancing, you know, it's like 1, 2, 3, punch, 1, 2, 3, jab, 1, 2.
So in this case, there are two very important parts in the whole running up to it. And all the fair fighters do have to need training. And the training means that you are trying out and learning techniques, which you can use in A, your choreograph, and B, in any situation. So because you told me that when you get smacked in the face and you're pumped up and you're in the middle of the show, and I had this moment where I was in my own Viking show. I had to play one of the parts because one of the actors couldn't be there. One of the fighters couldn't be there, so I took over his part for one show, and I was the one taken hostage and thrown through a table, and then got back to the Viking. I don't know, the first Viking. I don't know how he's called, and we eventually captured him in the story and in the scene. So we put him into to the block with the hands and the head through. And I know that because I was tired up because of the whole scene, that I spit. I spit. I didn't hit him by spitting, but I spit at him. And then I needed to loosen a little bit more of my anger, and I kicked him in a very safe way. So for the audience, I really kicked him. But I made a very gentle kick for the actor, and I know him. I know I can kick him. So thanks Jesper for being there. So sometimes you do an extra thing, but you should only do this if you know what you're doing. And this kick is completely safe, but you can use it at any point.
True.
You know, if you lose your weapon during a scene where you shouldn't lose your weapon, you want to improvise a little bit. So you need to have the training, and you need to have all the techniques on not only the weapons, but also the hand fighting, the stunt, the rolling, the falling, the defense, everything. So whatever happens, you can still perform and do everything in a safe way. So you don't want someone to just start fighting.
No.
Because I give stage fight trainings and courses, and I get a group of 10 people who are just like, okay, let's go fighting.
And you're like, no.
Because the problem is they want to do like 10 punches immediately, but you cannot just start punching. You need to learn the technique of how to punch or where to punch and why you should punch 10 times. Because for the audience, number 2 show element, there's no reason to punch 10 times. They want to see the punches, so you try to make it different and throw in a kick and
Yeah.
and put in a pause so you have a different rhythm in your fight, and throw a little bit of sand, to have a little bit of variation instead of just punching.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And eventually it's like a dance, because normally in like ballroom dance, one is leading and one is following in the steps, which is easy. But in stage fighting, it switches from one to the other.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
at one point, one is leading, and the other point, the other one is leading.
Yeah.
So, for instance, when you're fighting with weapons, then the attacker will be the leader, because he will give the moment from the attack.
True.
The defender should be in eye contact, so
Yeah.
you know that the other one is ready as well.
Yeah.
But the attacker will strike, and the defender will defend,
Yeah.
or not, depending on the choreograph, of course. But then that it's very obvious which one of the two is leading. But when you're in a hand combat or in a different part of an action, it can be the other way around than the audience might think. Pulling hair. A lot of people know the trick that the actor is grabbing hold of the hand in their hair or
Yeah.
on their head, and they do the movement, which is true, which is useful. I don't like using this because it's a trick a lot of people know.
Yeah.
So you don't want to show them things they know are fake.
Yeah.
So you wanna
with,
show-
with the punching someone and then slapping yourself on your chest is be like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God, seriously.
But then again, I work with stages that the audience can be meters away.
Yeah.
So just slapping yourself on the chest while punching someone doesn't work.
No.
So you really need to make the impact sound as real as possible by making it real.
Yeah.
And if you want to punch someone in the stomach, it's fine, but make an impact. Otherwise, don't do it. And if you want to punch someone in the face, then it's gonna be looking fake,
Yeah.
because you don't want to punch someone in the face. So, because that's number one, it's not safe to punch someone in the face
No.
just by punching someone in the
Yeah.
face. And two, if you're trying to do it safe, it's not gonna look good.
No, but no, yeah, I can imagine, because
So,
the
yeah.
face is dangerous. The moment that you are not in control and you do put in a punch, you can break somebody's jaw, knock somebody's lights out.
Yeah.
So that's the dangerous part, man.
But then again, we did it. I had myself being punched in the face in a different show by someone I trusted. So I knew that she would be able to throw the punch right.
Yeah,
And it's a lot of coordination. You place your fist first before you give the thrust.
yeah,
So you don't just swing your fist, because
No.
that's the problem. That's fighting. If you want to throw your fist, that's fine. But
Yeah.
that's fighting. That's not stage fighting. So it's a very difficult thing, because you have to have all the positions right. The position of the attacker, the position of the defender, or not defender in
Yeah.
this case, needs to be perfect. So we did it with the three of us. I was being held by one and held to the side. I was on my knees in the sand, and she would throw the punch in my face, and I would react to the punch, of course. One show she hit me in the eye.
uh-huh.
That's what I told before. That's the risk
Yeah, yeah,
you're able to take.
yeah,
And then again, if you hurt yourself, okay, yeah, I knew I was taking risk here,
true.
but that's
Yeah,
there you will take your risks.
true. Yeah, but what you're saying, it's like with all the outdoor things you do. If you're gonna do it in an environment that you feel safe with. It's the first thing you're doing it, first time ever. Don't, like, for say rock climbing, don't go to France and be like, oh, I love this mountain, I'm just gonna climb it. I've never done it before. No. Start with one of the climbing halls that you have in your town or in your city, and just start by doing the easy stuff and then work up. Never ever, with any outdoor experience, I think, is just doing it. No, I always say, just do it, try it. But always in a safe environment. I mean, you hear a lot of the news things about people having an accident, dying with. I mean, seriously, with the Himalayas, with K2, people just going there hiking, never done it before, and they die.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen.
No.
No.
We encourage everybody to go outside and go and do stuff.
Yeah.
But always remember to yourself, if it doesn't feel safe, don't do it.
But that's the thing, I've mentioned the buddy system before.
Yeah.
It's from the diving I do. You always dive with a buddy.
True.
But I think that a lot of things you should do with someone you would trust. I mean, if you go cycling or walking or anything, canoeing or name it, that you need someone besides you. That if something goes wrong with you, you want to trust them to do something suitable to get help you. Don't get in danger themselves, so they just jump after you. So I think the buddy system is very interesting to use in that.
Yeah, well, it also is with rock climbing. I mean, if you do the top rope, you always have your buddy, but also
and you need to trust them.
Yeah, but thank you.
Yeah,
you need to trust. If you don't,
that's why it's a buddy. You know, it's not just a random dude you're with.
No,
it's a buddy.
Yeah,
it's
I was
like
I was a rock climbing instructor for years and years, and I think for most people, going up isn't the big problem. It's going, but the moment that you're on the top and a dude meters down says, "Okay, let go now," you're like, "I'm sorry, what?"
Yeah.
And I think there comes the part what you said with the buddy system, and also with having experience with the outdoor sport, is that you can talk to a person who is up there and make them feel comfortable. Like, I got you. I know what I'm doing. Just trust me. Grab this rope. You feel it? It's tight. Okay. See the knot? It's tight? Yeah, it's tight. We checked everything before you went up. You checked me. I checked you. So everything is safe. And I see a lot of people who are saying, I mean, for the men here, we do a lot of stuff to impress women. We do that. So a lot of men go like, honey, I know rock climbing. I'm so tough. But what you don't think about is your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever, has never done this before.
Nope.
You have the experience. You have the knowledge of, I can do this. I know. That person who's going up doesn't know it. So always prepare somebody. Always.
I think that's the same as what I do with stage fighting. You can get into risky situations.
Yep.
You know, you can take risks if you trained not yourself physically, as in just wielding a sword is one thing, but mentally understanding the sword. And I think that's the same with doing anything. If you go horseback riding, you need to know the risk. You need to know how horses should be approached and how they work and how they can get scared and what's the risk for you. And you train yourself in situations. If you go cycling, train yourself technically to maintain your bike, because I had my chain broken. It's in the second episode with Pepijn.
Oh yeah.
That we talked about our journey into the mountains, and my chain broke.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't fix my chain, but luckily we could go down for the biggest part of the trip.
Yeah.
But then again, train yourself and train all your knowledge and your responses. So
that's the most important thing. And same with what you said with bikes. I mean, what if you're on let's say Les des Alpes with your bike and you're going down and your brake snaps?
Yeah.
That is a situation you do not want to be in. So, like Remy says, always check your equipment before you do something. Is everything cool? Is everything all right? I mean, unfortunately, I had the least fun experience. I had the experience that that one thing wasn't correct and we did not see it, and that ended up me dislocating my ankle and breaking it into 6 pieces. So yeah, I'm from a personal point of view, I know what it's like if you do not follow all the safety rules and what the consequences can be. And it's not to say to people like, "Oh, don't do it, it's scary." No, do it, but always the same thing with. I always thought it was a really, really strange metaphor. Like, for example, the sword has to be an extension of your arm, and, but it is true.
Yep.
Same thing with snowboarding. I did snowboarding for years, and the snowboard needs to be an extension of your legs because you're in control. If you want snowboard to do this, it has to do it.
Yeah, what it becomes is it's not a mechanical extension. It's part of yourself because you're in control of this extra part of yourself.
True.
And I think that's what I mean. That's how I feel about having it feel as yourself.
Yeah, that is,
and not just an extension or something you're holding. It's you're really in control of the thing
True.
you want to control.
Yeah, and what you say, never, never, ever, ever do anything outdoorsy by yourself. I mean, seriously, everybody's like, walking, what can be dangerous? What if you're walking, you sprain your ankle, you get attacked by a dog, you fall down,
Anything can
anything. Nobody's there to help you. Yeah, well, I have my mobile phone. Yeah, but
happen. We talked about that before because mobile phones, they die sometimes.
they die sometimes. And, I mean, who's going to give you first aid? Your mobile phone?
Yeah.
That does not work.
No.
So, yeah, that's... I mean,
Especially when you go do big stuff and new stuff.
Yeah.
Think about the whole buddy system. Think about also the sharing with someone.
True.
Is so much better than just going out on your own. I think
That is the thing. And yeah, before you start something new, just do some exploring. Google it. See what comes with it. If you say, "Oh, I want to go,"
find your knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do cliff diving. By all means, if you want to do it. But find your knowledge about what is cliff diving. How do I do it? What do I do? Do I have to take lessons? Can I just
Where do I do it?
Yeah.
And so on,
What are the safe places? What are the risks? I mean, canyoning. It's pretty awesome to do.
Mm-hmm.
But just don't do it by yourself, being like, oh, okay, I'm just going to jump in this hole now and see where it ends. I mean, seriously, people, please.
A funny thing, but the word safe, and if something is safe, I think that's relative.
Mm-hmm.
That I had this discussion with Pete once. It's amazing. We both are very fond of safety,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's a situation or a location or anything is never safe.
No.
Unless you can say when the time got passed, it was safe.
Yeah.
Because nothing went wrong, so it was safe.
Yeah.
Enough. But when you're into a new situation, which is still coming and actually right here, right now, then it's not safe. It's only safe as long as nothing goes wrong.
True.
But there's also always something that can go wrong.
I mean, the most, even if you're in a room full of pillows, something can go wrong.
Right. So it's only so that's why it's relative. And what you do as a someone who is looking for the safety and how do you say, looking out for safety for others as well. Because I most of the time with all these projects, I look out for other one's safety more than myself.
Yeah.
And it's taking a look at the risks that.
Yeah.
So you want to know all the risks that you can see and then take away as much risks as possible. So the least risks someone needs to take, the safer it gets.
Yeah. That's correct, I think.
Because you can always have seen missed a risk, because that's the one that can go wrong. Like, we have 5 extinguishers, but just where we need it, there's no extinguisher.
Yeah.
So that's a mistake. But also, we could have 20 fire extinguishers and no fire.
Yeah.
So when is something safe?
Yeah,
it's
well,
relative.
the same thing with me. Like, there were falling mats all over the place.
Yeah.
But just the place where I fell down on my right foot, there was 2 falling mats to each other. So there was a gap. It wasn't even a gap. It was like... Seriously, you have to put your wrist through it, your arm, if you want to touch the ground. But exactly at that point...
You got in between.
I got in between.
Yeah.
So the whole climbing area was safe. It was secure. It had falling mats. Everything was awesome. I had my buddy checking me. But just that 1% that we did not see...
Yeah.
Ended up me being in a... Yeah, so sure, the risk is always there. I mean, look at all the American pro wrestlers. Those dudes... tear limbs. I mean, look at all the professional athletes; they get injured. So, safe. What you say? Safe is not. It's a word that we use, but there's always a risk.
It's relative. It can be safe,
sure.
But when something goes wrong, it's not safe anymore.
No.
So it's relative.
Yeah,
you can think. If someone is experienced in like a football event, they have experience in all the risks and all the type of things that can go wrong.
True.
So they can put countermeasures in.
Yeah.
And they can say, it's safe, in my opinion now. We have all the countermeasures, all the risks that we could take away are taken away. Of course, there are always new risks, but it's safe enough to have this this event.
Yeah.
And then if something else goes wrong, which they could have never known that it was that, okay, then it wasn't safe enough. But then again, it was still safe. and that's why
true.
it's relative. And it's just to play on words.
True. Well, that
call it
was the
safe
thing.
or not.
I just saw on the news. An American reporter went on one of the typical Dutch things we do, the dropping.
Okay.
So putting a bunch of kids in
Just
the middle
somewhere.
of the forest and just be like, see how you get home. So the American journalist went with them, and he was just in shock and all. He was just like, oh my God, you do this? You just take a bunch of kids into the forest, no idea where they are, and just be like, see how you get home. How can that be? It's impossible. They even get blindfolded in the middle of the night, and they were everybody in America now is like, oh my God, those Dutch people are murderers and stuff. It's like, no, seriously, it is something that we do in the Netherlands, and it's only been done by companies who know what they're doing, who know what the risks are, who know if the kid goes that way, he will end up against a wall, so he cannot go further. If he goes that way, it's safe. So, and they always check what's happening. They always check the environment, and they always have a certain way of checking, like, what are the kids doing? Where are they? So, yeah, don't judge immediately like, oh my God, it's so unsafe. No.
That's the way of the experienced person. And then again, I had this. That's why I had this discussion with Pete that time, that I thought, in my opinion, things were safe, and he was like, things are not safe, or I'm saying when it's safe. But I was like, no, it's my project. I'm saying when it's safe.
Yeah.
And then again, it's relative, so it's not even safe. And that's where the discussion came from. It was amazing. He's a great guy. We're gonna do a new project at the historical event.
Okay, cool.
With the fire breathers. They're called Mystic Fire. And it's
I'm really looking forward to the historical event.
Yeah.
I'm not participating in the stunt show, if you don't mind, but
Just come and watch.
yeah, I'm gonna
That's
go
enough.
and watch and see how that goes, and maybe try a little stage fighting afterwards if I'm like, oh my God, this is fun. I'm gonna try this with all my injuries and all my broken bones and screws and plates in my body that's keeping me together. So yeah, that's fun.
Well,
Love
be
it.
careful with you.
Yeah. Please be gentle.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for this week.
No.
Yeah, so we have to wait another 7 days
Oh my God.
for our next conversation. We decided not to talk in the meantime because
Yeah. We're not talking to. We're just like seeing each other once a week, and that's all the conversation we're having with each other. Nothing more, nothing less. Because,
If you want to send us any of your stories, any of your images or questions or anything, you can find us at podcast@theweeklyoutdoors.com for your emails. You can visit us on the Facebook page. You can visit our YouTube channel. You can also come to the web page, theweeklyoutdoors.com. And Tristan, you can be found at Comic Beardman on Instagram.
Yep.
And I can be found with the hashtag I am here now.
Yep.
You'll find me in the list. But I do have a slight problem. You can feel it coming because this guy across the table took away his beard this week.
Sorry.
So he should change his Instagram name to Comic Man.
Yeah, I went from a big caveman to babyface, so I feel naked now. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, well, the 9 o'clock shadow is back already.
Yeah, it's back already, so it grows quickly.
It will restore it.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay.
Next week it will be a full-grown beard again. Yeah.
Next week, Comic Beardman is back. I was just Comic Man.
Nice. Tristan, thanks again.
You're quite
for this
welcome.
episode. And to all the listeners, thank you for listening and hope to have you back next week.
Yay!